Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
Hey, your body is a wonderland because I'm John Mayer.
Well, you got the first initial of the last night this time, so at least we're getting...
Are you telling me I'm not John Mayer? Are you telling me I didn't sleep with Tina Turner? Screw you!
Yeah, I don't think he did either. Just saying. And welcome, because this is episode 5. And we are here to talk about all kinds of stuff today. We got a ton of different news stories. Yeah, we got some reviews. We're going to talk a little bit about AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. We didn't get to watch it. We watched some highlights, but we did want to talk about it. We didn't want to just talk about the WWE stuff. But unfortunately, I don't have $50 to spend on the pay-per-view. Sorry, guys.
I got $50.
I mean, before the WWE Network, we literally watched one pay-per-view a year, and that was WrestleMania, because that's what we could afford. Sorry.
And sometimes we couldn't even afford that.
So, but we watched some highlights and stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened and what we saw and that kind of stuff. So
let's just say it has been a crazy couple weeks for wrestling all the way around the track.
It's true.
Mean, you've got your ups. You've got your downs. You've got freaking midgets posing naked with title belts.
It's true. And if you guys are lucky, I might throw that picture right up here now. Yeah.
Man, how classic does that photo get, bro?
And for those of you on the audio, you may want to go check out the YouTube video and see that picture. Just saying. Or
follow Matt Cardona on Twitter.
Yeah, that too. But I'd rather you watch the video.
Absolutely.
Much rather you watch our video.
Because Josh is beautiful.
Thank you.
Your body is a wonderland.
I have heard that before.
They were lying. Your body's a cream puff.
Right there. Fuck. Yo.
And that is how this video got pulled from YouTube.
No, because I swear a lot in my YouTube stuff, so it's all good in the hood.
Oh, well, then we're good in the hood, bro.
Yeah. So we're going to start off this week talking about some news, and there's really no good way to get into it, so we're just going to get into some of the kind of sadder news of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we did.
There have been a couple of deaths that have happened over the last couple of weeks. I want to start off with Shad Gaspard. You guys, maybe you remember him from Crime Time. He's a great wrestler. He's a awesome dude. I had the pleasure of talking with him a few times on Facebook, and he's a real cool guy. Unfortunately, he was found dead recently on the beach after he was pulled out by the Undertow. Him and his family were out just kind of having a good time at the beach. Things had started to open because during all this shit, things had finally started to open, so they wanted to go out, have a good time. And so him and his son were out in the water, and the Undertow grabbed his son first, and he saved his son, but unfortunately was not able to save himself. They were not able to find him for quite a while, but he eventually washed up on shore. This is terrible news, man. As soon as they announced that he went missing, I was like, there's no way that they're gonna just find him alive somewhere. It just wasn't gonna happen, and unfortunately it didn't. So John, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on all this.
Man, the dude, if you remember rightly, a few years ago, he stopped an armed robbery. This dude is the literal definition of a hero. It's really sad that this is what it came down to, because there were rumors and everything that him and JTG had been in talks of coming back to the WWE and signing new contract deals.
Yeah.
They would have been awesome to have had back in the tag team division, in my personal opinion. But wow, man. What a moment of heroism to save your son and then, to have that moment, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was that whole day. It was a weird day, felt kind of numb that whole day just thinking about it. It was, I don't know. I still feel weird even just talking about it.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe because, you go from seeing these people all the time to now they're not off or on TV, but you still hear about them all the time. And I mean, he was a popular guy. Like, I mean, people liked him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, Shad was not the only wrestler to die recently. Stardom wrestler Hana Kimura committed suicide just recently. She was only 22 years old.
22.
A lot of the speculation, and it's honestly, I don't at this point, I don't consider it speculation anymore. I mean, if you saw her suicide note and all this stuff, it was because of cyberbullying. She was on a Netflix reality show called Terrace House. It was a Japanese reality show that Netflix had picked up, and she apparently was getting just harassed daily, constantly on the internet, and she couldn't take it. And she took her own life, unfortunately. They didn't release like how or anything, but really that's not what's important.
No,
it doesn't matter how. It's the fact that it happened, the reasonings behind it. Like this is shit that needs to stop. Like just because there's somebody who's has a little bit of fame of some sort doesn't fucking mean they're not human.
Absolutely.
It's like do you talk to your mother that way? You know what I mean? It's like treat people with respect. And I hate that sometimes I'm like, why do I bother being on the internet at all? Because this is the kind of shit that you see all of the time. And I don't understand why people feel the need to do that to other people. I don't get it. I really don't. Netflix has, they did announce that they are canceling the remainder of her season that she was on. So like, that's not happening anymore, which I get, out of respect, you don't want to put any more of that out there. I don't even know if the show will come back in general, but maybe it will. I don't know. But that season is not. So, John, what were your thoughts on all this?
I'm really sad because it's like you said, man, this is 2020. People need to realize, man, cyberbullying it's not fun anymore. Like, it was never fun. Let me reiterate that. That was never fun. Keyboard warriors are like, they need to go away now.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to realize people have feelings, people have emotions, and not everybody handles it the way everybody else does. I mean, some people are just, it's an emotional time. There's a lot of shit going on, and you never know what somebody has going on in their life.
Yeah.
So poke and prod and hurt somebody like that to the point where they feel that the only way out is to do something like that. You should be ashamed of yourselves, and you should fucking just, I'm not going to say what I want to say. But you
should not be allowed to have access to the internet. That's what I say.
You remember 20, 30 years ago, back before the internet was really a big thing, this wasn't issues. People weren't killing themselves like this. I mean, people were dying and they were killing themselves, but not because of reasons, because cyberbullying and stuff like that. They were, I mean, yeah, there was bullying.
That's the problem. It's, bullying has always been a thing, just in general, and people have killed themselves for bullying for probably since the beginning of time, really. But once the internet became a thing and there was an outlet for all of these damaged people to just go on and unleash all this hate into the world, it just skyrocketed and there's no stopping it, unfortunately.
I'm guilty.
It doesn't help when there are, certain political figures who decide that they are going to instigate shit like this, and do this type of like cyberbullying themselves and set an example like that, and it's ridiculous. Well, but I don't want to get too political on here.
No, I get it. I get it.
We've done that before in early episodes.
All I'm saying is, it's a real shame that we lost somebody in this world because people can't keep their opinions to themselves. And I know in today's society, people are gonna have opinions because opinions are like assholes. Yeah. Everybody's is different. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is we lost a talented superstar. We lost a human being, and it was because people are assholes.
It's true.
So, I mean, I think me and you talked about this. I honestly think we should have a moment of silence for the two superstars people.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody. And we're going to try to lighten things up and move into some other stuff. But before we do that, I just want to say, if any of you are out there who are being bullied or feel like taking your own lives, reach out to somebody. There are hotlines. There are places that you can go and people that you can talk to. So please do that. All right.
Absolutely. I mean, I know this is a podcast about wrestling, but I mean, find me on Facebook. I'm a great person. I will listen to anything you have to talk about. I mean, I know Josh would do the same for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you ever need to talk, you just hit us up on any of the social channels. We'll get to those at the end, though.
Yeah, we will.
All right. So, like I said, there's no real good way to kind of move into things. We just got to kind of move forward, keep moving forward. So Sami Zayn had to vacate the Intercontinental Championship. WWE cited he was unable to compete, and a new champ would be determined by a tournament to take place, which has already started and had gone through most of the rounds, which I'll get into in a moment. So Sami was quoted as saying, I disagree with this decision, and no matter what anyone says, I am still undefeated and therefore still the Intercontinental Champion. So, I mean, he seems like he ain't done. I don't know if I didn't see if they actually released a reason as to why he was unable to compete. All I saw in the article that I read was that it was unable to compete. That's all it said.
Well, for the most part, from what I'm understanding, is he pulled himself from competition, kind of like Roman did.
Okay.
It's coronavirus related. He's up in arms about it. He didn't want to compete mostly while he was competing anyway.
So he's just he's pissed that they stripped him of the title.
Kind of. I think
because of that,
storyline wise, but at the same time, I would like to point out that story broke 45 minutes after we recorded episode 4.
Yeah.
We talked about this on episode 4, and then no sooner did we get done recording, I texted you and was like, look at this article.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the news happens sometimes.
What are your thoughts on Sami Zayn not wanting to compete, and having a new Intercontinental Champion?
I have no problem with people wanting to be cautious. That's why I didn't have a problem when Roman decided he didn't want to, be at the was it WrestleMania?
Yeah.
I get it. You want to be safe. I get it. Especially, I don't know if Sammy's got underlying health issues like Roman has, but no matter what, he just didn't feel comfortable, and I get that.
Any ideas on who you'd like to see with the title?
Well, I can tell you who it's down to.
Okay.
We'll get into that in a moment, but I'm not the biggest fan of them taking the title away from him. I mean, I understand that maybe they haven't used him much lately, and so maybe they want to get the IC title back in the spotlight a little bit. So I get that. I don't know. It just seemed a little weird. No, I don't know. It just seemed a little weird because it's not like he's injured.
The problem I have with it is if you're going to turn it into a storyline, do what they are. Without getting too far ahead of stuff we want to talk about, let's look at the fact that WWE has no hesitation using real life events in storylines. Mm-hmm. Why not do something like Sami needs to take a break from wrestling, but he just won the championship. So due to him not wanting to compete, he's not going to be able to fill his championship defense obligations and then strip him of the title.
Yeah. I get that.
I mean, you could have done something like that, and then it makes Sami still look good, and he could have still went on a rant where, well, I didn't lose my title, they stripped me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could have, but they didn't. So
they didn't.
They started a tournament, had this is an 8-guy tournament to crown the next Intercontinental Champion.
Is it Trent?
So the no, it ain't Trent. So the 4 matches that started off in round 1 were Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, Elias versus King Corbin, and AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Interesting.
Yes. So in that first match, the Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, Daniel Bryan won the match. Then we have the Jeff Hardy Sheamus match. Jeff Hardy was not able to compete. Hardy was they did this storyline, I guess, thing where Jeff Hardy and Elias, I think Jeff hit him with a car or something like that. There was some sort of car.
Jeff,
I didn't see the whole thing.
Stupid. This is what I was talking about.
They accused Jeff of like being either high or drunk or like not being sober, which wound up not being obviously true. Like, he got tested and all this stuff and was cleared and everything, but he wasn't able to, compete. Which
it's WWE cashing in on somebody's real life demons.
And the thing is, Jeff Hardy won that match against Sheamus. So, but because of all that, Sheamus moved on to round 2. Also, Elias won his match, but did not get to move on. For some reason, okay. So I'm looking at the bracket here, and like I said, I didn't see these matches, so I didn't see the night that it happened. So I'm not sure of the reasoning, but with the Jeff Hardy Sheamus match, Sheamus lost, but because of what happened to Jeff, was able to move into round 2. They didn't do that with Corbin. So there was a bye week. It was just like a blank, and the person who won, so the other match was AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, and AJ won. AJ got a bye week, so essentially he got a free match.
That's cool.
So he essentially got to move straight into round 3, into the finals. And he wound up he's going to be going up against Daniel Bryan. Now the semifinals, the Daniel Bryan Sheamus match actually happened last night. Did not get a chance to watch it, but it happened last night. And like I said, AJ had a bye week, so it didn't even matter. So on June 12th, SmackDown, we will see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, I kind of want to see D-Bry take it, personally. Who do you want to see out of the two?
Well, I wanted to see Jeff take it, but now that Jeff isn't in the finals.
First off, before you give your answer, what do you think all the craziness that happened throughout this? The Jeff Hardy Elias thing, all this random shit. What do you think the reason for Corbin not being moved on, but Sheamus being moved up?
Honestly, I don't really know about that kind of shit. I really wish I would have watched the highlights, and I could have at least had more of an opinion. I don't like the WWE's trying to cash in on real life demons. Yeah. We all know Jeff Hardy has an issue. We know Jeff Hardy has been through some shit. Let it fucking be. I mean, even Matt Hardy tweeted about it and put up a tweet that said he was, and I mean, mind you, this was like 25 minutes after the opening of SmackDown, where Jeff Hardy's being arrested for running down whoever backstage. I think it was Elias, like you said.
Yeah, it's Elias. Yeah.
And they're like, Matt tweeted, "Thankful to be working for AEW."
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like, why are you gonna pull the sobriety angle or the non-sobriety angle in with Jeff? It's like that's some low-hanging fruit, in my opinion.
Well, they did the same thing with CM Punk Jericho years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, CM drunk.
I remember smashing liquor bottles up against his head.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't understand it. Like, I mean, I don't know. Entertainment is entertainment, but sometimes a line gets pushed and it shouldn't. And this is one of those times.
And it's like, you watch like AEW, and it's like, this is good stuff here. Like, WWE has fucking 7 hours every week, not including pay-per-views, and they for the most part don't do anything near as good as the 2 hours that AEW does. And it's kind of, it's like,
I agree.
It's like, I just don't understand what they're doing, but it is what it is. So speaking of one of the contestants in that tournament, Drew Gulak was released from the WWE. But John, wasn't there something else about this story that you brought up?
So Josh and I were talking about the topics earlier that we're covering today, and Josh goes, "We're going to cover how Drew Gulak was released." And I'm like, "You mean released and rehired?" And Josh is like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. Usually I'm the one being shocked by the news, but today I pulled the carpet out from under Josh.
It's true. I did not see this story. It never popped up in any of my feeds. When I was looking up to things, it never came about.
Honestly, it was one of those things that I didn't see happening. But apparently, no sooner did they release him, he kept going with the angle that him and D-Bry were doing, where he was training D-Bry. So D-Bry was like filming videos and posting them and like, "Thank you, Drew Gulak." And Drew would be like, "You're welcome, Daniel." And I mean, it was just awesome. So they rehired him. And I know this isn't really on the topic of conversation, but it's in the same ball house. So I'm gonna sub-level to this for a second. I think personally they might have hired back Drake as well and not told anybody because he pulled out another win in the Cruiserweight Championship.
In that tournament that they're doing?
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't doubt it.
And
I really wouldn't doubt it.
He made the comment after the match. He was backstage with one of the gentlemen who was wrestling in the tournament as well, and he said, "You put up one hell of a fight, and when I win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, I will make sure you are the first person who gets a title shot."
Yeah, exactly. As like he's been talking about, like he's said more than once. He's like, "I'm gonna win this title. I'm gonna win this title." If you're fired, like you're not gonna win it. Like what is gonna happen? They're gonna make you vacate the title. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like storyline wise, they're gonna make you vacate the title because you don't have a job anymore.
Maybe they'll pull a Montreal Screwjob in the main event.
God.
The 205 Screwjob.
Yeah, let's hope not. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. You know, like his contract expired, so they let him go, but then they re-signed his. Like we were talking, like after you told me this, I was like, I wonder if they were just having some difficulty coming to an agreement on his contract.
That's a possibility.
And so like his contract expired, and they were still in some sort of negotiation with it, and then finally came to a conclusion on it and brought him back. I don't know. I get we'll probably never know.
That's definitely a good possibility.
Our next story, NBA star Enes Kanter, who I've honestly never heard of. I don't really watch basketball. I've never heard of this guy. Claims that he has had offers from the WWE and wants to wrestle when he's done with his basketball career. He was quoted saying, I'm definitely becoming a WWE wrestler. I actually already have the offers from WWE, he said. I'm like, dude, I need to finish my basketball career first. After my career, I'm definitely becoming one. The WWE and Cantor have kind of worked with each other before. In September of last year, he pinned R-Truth to capture the 24/7 title. Not similar to what Gronk did at WrestleMania. Getting the title and whatnot, and having another sports person with that title. Seems like that's the kind of thing they like to do.
Yeah,
sports guys a chance with stuff like that. After winning, he unzipped his hoodie in true heel fashion to reveal a Boston Celtics jersey underneath because they were at Madison Square Garden in New York. So Knicks, Celtics, big old thing there. So I don't know. I guess I don't really care if he becomes a wrestler. I've never even heard of the guy. What do you think, John?
I'm probably going to shock you on this one. Honestly, I have no problem with basketball stars crossing into the wrestling world. As seen by Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone and one-time football star Lawrence Taylor, sometimes those guys can hold their own in the ring.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't really care.
I don't really care about it as much either, but I'm still excited to see it because, like, that takes me back to Dennis Rodman and Hulk Hogan taking on DDP and Karl Malone. And Karl Malone, the mailman with those big arms, hitting the diamond cutter. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dennis Rodman had the celebrity wrestling thing on MTV for a while. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe this guy's really got the chops. Maybe he could really pull something off. I mean, it's not like he's like Ronda Rousey.
We'll get to that. It makes me wonder if they're kind of replacing Gronk.
I mean,
because he's going back to football.
Okay,
and
so this is gonna sound really mean, but let me spell this out for you. Okay. I'm gonna spell Gronk's name really slow for you.
Okay.
SHITTY. Gronkowski.
Fair enough.
I mean, that dude is so shitty. Let me put it this way. he is a jockstrap because he's not good enough to be an athlete. He's an athletic supporter. And Rob Gronkowski, if you are fucking listening to me, you come to Dunkirk, Fredonia, New York, and I swear to God, I'll show you how the Bills play football. I'll sack you harder than your wife.
All right, fair enough. And on that note, you did mention one Miss Ronda Rousey.
Don't even get me started.
So I feel like it only makes sense to jump into this next story.
Here it comes.
Triple H has gone on record and said, of course, the WWE wants Ronda Rousey back. He was even quoted as calling her one of the best performers for us ever. That's what he said. That she is one of the best performers for us ever.
So she gets Roddy Piper's gimmick and Bret Hart's tagline? What is she? I mean, is she the best ever? Is she the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be? Or is she Ronda Rousey? Ronda Rousey. Whoever the fuck she is. God damn it!
Dude, during this, like, I don't know if it was like an interview or whatever the fuck it was that Triple H was doing, he was like, we used to think that Kurt Angle, was like top tier. He was like one of the best, performers that we had till Ronda Rousey. I'm just like, what?
You see, and that pisses me off because, okay, so
fuck you,
I will say
Hunter.
This. No. Ronda Rousey has potential if she could straighten her shit up, learn better grappling, time her moves better, and stop pulling her shorts out of her ass every 2 fucking minutes. Either get gear that fits, honey, or don't wear any at all, because it's pretty much what you're fucking doing anyway. Oh, let me get this out of my coochie. Ooh, let me get this out of my coochie. Coochie. Like, oh, I just can't with her. I cannot with Ronda Rousey. People, message us. What the hell do you people see in Ronda Rousey that the WWE wants to bring her back?
Okay, please get a hold of us. Go on to anchor.fm and go. There's an option to where you can send a voice message. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Send us a voice message. I will play that voice message on air during as soon as I have it.
One of our videos. Mm-hmm. Why is Ronda Rousey so fucking popular?
Don't get it. I'll probably never get it. I do not give it.
Okay, so I'm done ranting. What are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey being in the quote unquote best?
You summed it up, man. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. I feel like Triple H is spitting in the face of all of these great wrestlers who put in the time and effort to train and build up a character and just perfect their craft. And he's calling her one of the best performers. Or the best performer, one of the best. Like, oh my god, it just bothers me.
I'm gonna label her the best, like quote unquote best.
Well, I guess technically one of the best.
Well, okay, one of the best.
She ain't even close to one of the best.
I hate Charlotte Flair, but I would rank Charlotte Flair above Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, next story. I can't with this one anymore. My blood pressure is through the roof. I'm going to dial 911 and wait a second before I hit send.
All right, so I'm going to move on to Devon Dudley.
Yeah, buddy. Devon!
He announced that his retirement from in-ring competition is official.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew
this. Sad times. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, though, no matter what, it's still a sad moment.
Yeah.
That man is I mean, like, they're like him and Bubba Ray are somewhere in the 20-time like tag team champion range, I believe.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't. That's probably, yeah.
I mean, there's no way you can talk about the tag team division of any professional wrestling faction or like company and not somewhere mention the Dudleys.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Hart Foundation. I mean, it's there no matter what you talk about. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many great memories from the Dudleys. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, he's going to be missed.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, man. Bubba Ray and Devon were two of my favorites from back then. You know, just watching them, you know, them and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, like that time period was just a time period that I love, and just reminiscing and rewatching like those fucking triple threat ladder matches that they did, the TLCs that they did. Just rewatching those it's just incredible. You don't really, I mean, sometimes you get stuff close to that, but you really don't get stuff like that often anymore. And
no, not at all.
They pioneered, you know, this business at the time. You know what I mean? They gave us something that I feel like at the time we didn't know we wanted, but once we got it, there was no turning back. You know? Nope. Yeah, it's just I'm glad that he has recognized that, you know, this is his time, and he's taking those steps to make that official or whatever. But and I'm glad that he's doing it on his own terms. But it's still sad to see, you know, one of the greats, you know, leave the business like that. But from what I understand, it's just in ring, so he'll probably still be involved in wrestling in some fashion somewhere, whatever.
Probably still make appearances here and there.
Yeah, so
just not wrestling.
Yeah. So another person who is out of wrestling for a little while, at least, Miss Dr. I should say, Britt Baker of AEW, has been injured and will be out for at least 2 months. She had an anterior lateral tibial fracture, a partial lateral collateral ligament tear, and a small degree tendon tear, I believe, in her knee. You don't want to mess with shit like that, man.
Now, see, I'm dumb. I'm not even going to try to deny this. I have no idea what the hell you just said, little boy.
So, the LCL, the lateral collateral ligament, is one of the ligaments in your knee that holds your shit together. I blew out my ACL, which is inside. So your knee, it's like a ball, and it like this, okay? But there's a ligament that attaches the two together so that it can't twist too far.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like when I blew out my ACL, it's because it twisted and snapped.
Oh, okay.
The LCL, I believe it's either the inside or the outside ligament. I can't. One of them is the MCL and one's the LCL.
I'm pretty sure the MCL is on the outside.
So it's the other one. So she had a partial tear, which, you know, they can, you know, sew up, and that's why she's only, they're saying 2 months. If she had blown that thing, man, she'd have been out for probably at least 6. You know, and the tibial fracture. So she fractured her tibia, which is one of the bones down there, and she also tore one of the tendons as well. So, you know, it could have been way worse. You know, something like this, if it had been like a tibial break, like a full break, full ligament tear, like full tear on the ligament and the tendon, that could probably end her career in wrestling. You know what I mean? So she got lucky that they were, she got lucky that that it was as slight, I guess you could say, as it is. But yeah, so I guess she'll be out for the next couple months, and that's sad, man, because she's probably my favorite over at AEW, and I think I don't know, I'm gonna miss seeing her around there. So,
see, I like Britt Baker. I mean, she's a great in-ring performer. Yeah. I love the gimmick. I love her personality in the ring. But when it comes to AEW, there's only one woman who has my heart right now. It's the Bunny. What's up, Allie? How you doing?
Fair enough.
I mean, we've met them. I mean, we've hung out with... Oh, shit, which one is he? Is he the Butcher or the Blade? We've hung out with the Bunny in at least half of Butcher and the Blade. Forgive me for not remembering which one is which at this point.
That happens. Shit happens.
I mean, we knew him better when he was Pepper Parks.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in the ring with Pepper Parks.
Pepper Parks is the bomb. Yeah.
And Allie is gorgeous.
Also true. But yeah, so you know, I wish you all of, you know, the best luck in getting better, and
please, much love from Off the Ropes, Brett. Right. Get strong.
Get real strong and get back soon.
And then get that women's championship.
That's right. All right. So, speaking of smaller promotions with 3 letters as well, NXT.
I thought you were talking about TNA. Oh, that's Impact now, though. Sorry.
I try not to talk about them. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I mean, we got to be not biased and talk about them a little bit.
Hey, if I ever find good news, like something that's like worth talking about, but I like never find Impact news. I rarely find Impact.
Yeah, because they don't have a lot of stuff going on over there.
And I don't watch Impact, so.
All right, so NXT, sir.
They are under the NXT banner. WWE is bringing back In Your House. You guys remember the old In Your House pay-per-views? Those things were...
because, I mean, for the longest time, it was In Your House, and then it became In Your House something else.
Yeah. So now it's going to be NXT TakeOver In Your House. It will air 1 week from today or 1 week from tomorrow, I should say. Sorry.
1 week from tomorrow, yep.
On June 7th. There are currently 5 matches slated. I looked them up. So I'm going to kind of go through them, and then I'm going to get your thoughts on the return of In Your House and the matches in general.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So we've got Ciampa versus Karrion Kross, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai for the, I'm not sure if I pronounced her name right, for the NXT Women's title. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream in a last chance match for the NXT Championship. What this means is if Dream loses, he can no longer challenge for the NXT title as long as Cole has it. And then Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship.
Yeah, so, buddy.
First off, what are your thoughts on them bringing back In Your House and doing it under the NXT banner? And then kind of just give you a little bit of your thoughts on some of these matches, what you're looking forward to.
The title, going with the title first, I mean, it makes sense. Hunter's running NXT. Sean is helping run NXT. Who were 2 big guys during the Attitude Era when In Your House was a big thing?
In Your House, D-Generation X.
Exactly my point. I love that they're bringing it back. Whether it sticks around, sure. Whether it goes away, sure. Yeah. I think it was a smart move. I love that they're using the classic In Your House kind of logo for it. Let's talk about these matches, bro. Yeah. Well, actually, let's flip the coin for a second. Let's break it down together. Okay. Let's break it down. How do you like that they're bringing the name back?
I kind of love that. I'll be honest. I hadn't thought about In Your House in fucking a long time. It hadn't crossed my mind.
You were such a mark. Let me tell you something, Mark.
What makes me... How does that make me a mark?
I don't know. I just wanted to call you a mark during one of our podcasts. So...
I'm going to start calling you Paul Gosselaar then.
Fine, do it. Do it.
But yeah, I hadn't even thought about In Your... So like when I saw the story, I was like, holy shit. In Your House? That's really cool. And I was like, NXT TakeOver In Your House. It's like, I think that could work. Yeah. Because like that's what they do. They do NXT TakeOver something. You know what I mean? And like kind of like the way In Your House did that.
Well, yeah, but I think there's more of a subfloor to that people aren't seeing either. This is the first NXT TakeOver, I believe, since quarantine, if I'm not mistaken.
I think because I know like the one that was scheduled around WrestleMania got canceled. And then I think there was supposed to be one around Money in the Bank, which got canceled as well. So yeah, I think you're right.
In Your House,
which
the Performance Center.
Yeah, and we are in our houses. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, I think it works perfectly. Yeah. But yeah, there's some pretty interesting matches here. So let's start off. We got Ciampa versus Kross. I know we talked a little bit about that earlier. I mean, I really like Ciampa. I don't know much about Kross, but as we were talking, you know, we said it would make most sense to have Kross take this match. You know,
as long as they book this one right and they make, I'm okay with Kross winning this, like I said earlier, as long as Ciampa looks strong.
Yeah.
Because Ciampa is a hard worker. He is a strong-looking little dude. And, I mean, my personal opinion, Ciampa doesn't need a title picture, title win, or anything to make him look strong. He is a hard worker. So, you know, with Killer Kross coming in the way he did, Karrion Kross coming in the way he did, Vince has his heart on for him, and he's going to elevate him. Yeah, so he's going to win here, and he's going to get title picture soon. soon.
But it makes sense to me, at least, because like you said, he's new here. If Champ has been around,
Yep.
he's won, he's lost. So him losing here in general isn't really going to hurt his career. Cross, on the other hand, being brand new if they're doing this push, losing now, that will hurt. But winning against Ciampa will elevate him a lot, I think. And like I said, as long as they make Ciampa look strong in the match, it won't hurt him.
Well, there's one other way they could do this that we didn't talk about earlier that I was thinking about right now as we're talking about it.
Okay.
Ciampa wins the match, and then Cross decides this isn't over yet, and just heel. I mean, he's the heel anyway. Yeah. Heel act, just tears Ciampa down after the match. Go for that bad knee that has been reconstructed, beat him down, and just leave him lay for dead.
I could see that. Yeah. Again, you'd have to make sure that throughout the match, Cross looks strong as well.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to just destroy the build for him.
I have no doubts in my mind
if it doesn't,
it will be hard hitting.
If it doesn't look like Cross could win, they're not going to believe that he'll win in the future.
No, and I get that. I mean, I fully get that.
Yeah. And so like you said, even if they could have Ciampa win and then just have Cross just take it to him after. Yeah. I think, you know what? I would be okay with that.
I would be okay with it. I mean, either way it goes, I'm not a big Cross fan, but I mean, if this is Vince's flavor of the week, I mean, you can't be happy with them all, man.
It's true. It's true.
For years, I remember you hating Triple H with a passion.
I did for a long time. I did. I just hated him. I didn't know anything about the fucking business back then, though, either. That's when I was a mark. You know what I mean? Like, legit.
Yep.
And that's when, those people like, oh, it's all real. I know it's all real. Yeah, but so the other match, we've got Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai. I still don't know how to pronounce her name. For the NXT Women's Championship. I really am glad to see Rhea Ripley getting a shot at her title again. I still say it's her title. She never lost that title. It was vacated from her because she had to leave the country because of visa issues with the whole shutdown and everything.
Yep.
And I'm going to be real disappointed if she doesn't reclaim that title. I'm just going to put that out there.
I would agree with you, but like I said earlier, I could see them pulling a swerve.
As long as Charlotte doesn't fucking keep it.
Agreed.
No offense, Charlotte, but no.
I don't like Charlotte, so no.
Go back to main roster. Get out of here.
No, go to someplace else. Go to TNA. They need some good women workers over there.
It's probably true. But Rhea Ripley, man, I'm glad to see her back, and I think that these three will put on a hell of a show. Personally, we may talk trash about Charlotte Flair, but she's a hell of a worker nonetheless.
She is. She's definitely a workhorse.
And I think these three will put on probably one of the, if not the best, but at least one of the best matches of that whole show.
Probably.
Which seems to happen. I've noticed watching NXT, the women tend to put on some of the better matches.
Because their women have something to prove down there.
Yeah. So
they don't get much television time like the women on the main roster, so they want to be seen, and they definitely want their spot.
So then the next one up, we got Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. I don't really know much about Damian Priest, but I do like Finn Balor. I don't know how I feel about his heel side like this, but as a performer, I do like Finn Balor. Again, not the biggest fan of the heel thing that he's doing over there right now. But what are your thoughts on it? It's just a normal singles match.
Yeah, screw Finn Balor. I'm totally Damian Priest on this match.
So we're going to be butting heads on next weekend.
Listen. I've got to call you Linda for a minute. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this nicely. So listen, Linda. Finn Balor, heel Balor, Mr. Balor Club is a piece of Gronkowski, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? He is
That's
legit.
funny.
I mean,
I'm gonna start using that.
I will not take it away from Finn. Finn is a great worker. He looks phenomenal in the ring.
Wait. So is Finn Balor your male version of Charlotte Flair?
Maybe.
Great worker, but you just do not like them.
Maybe. And I don't know what it is about him. Like when he's a face, I totally get behind him.
Yeah.
I think one of my major issues I have with Finn Balor is when most people go heel face, there's always something that changes about them. Not with Finn Balor. It is still, you get the flipped collar, and he's all like, and Finn Balor, I'm going to come out here and talk at you in my accent, and I'm going to get in the ring with you.
Okay.
I think that was kind of French, and I apologize because I know he's not French.
He's definitely not French. So you're taking Damian Priest on this one, huh?
Damian Priest, motherfucker. That dude's going to crush Balor. Mark my words.
Okay, you heard it here, folks.
It's burial, but he's going to win.
You heard it here, folks. If Damian Priest loses, I give you full right to come on here and tell John he was wrong. Sorry. But do not cyberbully him. Just tell him he's wrong and move the fuck on. God.
Remember, people, cyberbullying is wrong.
Fucking people, man. Anyways, next match is Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream.
I'm sorry, what's that first name again?
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. However, Velveteen Dream, he's gonna win.
Yeah, you said that earlier. I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see Cole win and just have Dream have to deal with the fact that he doesn't get a title shot as long as Cole has the title. However, what I kind of would like to see is Cole wins, okay? And then the next week, like that following Wednesday, they make Cole have a title match and he loses the title.
That would be fun.
Because then Dream can go right back into the title picture at any point. I don't know. I think they could do something weird and interesting with it. I don't know.
Okay. So on the outside chance that the rumors I've heard are true and that Adam Cole is exiting WWE.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing solidified in this. This is 100% rumor. Let me start by clarifying that now before all you marks out there blow us up and Adam Cole's not going anywhere.
He's Adam Cole, baby.
So, this is how I want to see this match go down. I want to see this match 100% dominated by Velveteen Dream. Okay. And then in the very, very last few moments, Undisputed Era comes out, backs up Adam Cole. Adam Cole wins, retains the championship. Now, Velveteen Dream's got that moment where he's like, God damn it, I can't compete for the title anymore. While Adam Cole still got it. Adam Cole gets a mic and goes, I've been Adam Cole, baby. I'm out of here. And then puts the championship down and walks away. Vacates it the same night he retains it.
You know what? You got a lot. Yeah. All right.
Just saying. That's how I would book that match. I would make it. I would make it dominated by Velveteen Dream, heavy on the Dream.
Heavy on the Dream, baby.
Heavy on the Dream, won by Cole, and then Cole just puts the title down and walks away.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. One more week, and we will see.
Adam Cole, baby!
So the last match that they have scheduled, I don't know if there's going to be more than just 5 matches. I kind of hope there are. I don't know. It seems a little light. But the last one that they've got...
Because they allow their matches to be a little bit longer.
Fair enough. It's Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. What are your thoughts on this?
And Keith Lee, man. Johnny Gargano is going to have Candice LeRae in his corner. Yeah. And you know that Keith Lee is going to have Mia Yim in his corner. Because there's been that whole connection of who the power couple of NXT is right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to see Keith Lee retain the title. However, I do think this match is going to be in Johnny Gargano's favor.
Okay.
Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae undeniably are amazing together. And they work amazingly well together. Why? Because they have been up and down everywhere together. They've traveled together. They are together. I mean, they are a real life couple right there. and there is nothing that woman won't do to help her man be on top of a company.
So in other words, you think it won't be a clean win?
I don't think it'll be a clean win.
Okay.
But I would like to see Keith Lee win it.
Okay.
I just don't think he's going
I feel like either way, it could really build a real nice feud for these two. You know, you could probably have a decent program, but work for the two of these for a couple of months even. I could see that.
I would personally, and this is just me.
And you could even get their girls involved, like have them have matches.
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
Maybe do a mixed tag match somewhere down the line, something like that.
I know for a fact Candice LeRae has no problems wrestling dudes. I've seen her get super kicked in the face by the Young Bucks, and one of them was wearing a spiked cleat.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for these, and I think I would prefer to see Keith Lee win, but if Gargano wins, I'm not gonna cry about it. But I hope that they continue with the feud and don't just say, okay, on to the next person.
Agreed. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So that's in your house. So hopefully it'll be a good show. June 7th, guys.
Well,
be sure.
I mean, technically it's not in your house; it's in Orlando. But
listen here, John Mayer. You ain't the mayor of this show.
Yeah, well, you're the mayor of
what?
Big Burger Town, bitch.
At least I get all the free burgers I want. And what? Next story. Trailer drop for a new WWE something. Not 100% sure what to call this, but it's Sting the Lost Tape. It will feature rare footage and interviews prior to his match against Big Bubba Rogers at WCW Slamboree 1995. In the trailer, we see Sting in a conversation with Macho Man Randy Savage at one point. We also get some backstage promo with Mean Gene Okerlund and a candid clip of him painting his face while talking about his nerves before the match. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know what really, because I don't think I'd call this a documentary. You know what I mean? Maybe you could call it that, but
we'll have to wait till it comes out.
Yeah, I don't know what really to call it, but it sounds fascinating nonetheless. It comes out tomorrow. So by the time most of you are watching it, they'll probably have already been out. Just so go and check that out on the WWE Network. Sting the Lost Tape.
Come to anchor.fm and let us know your thoughts on it.
That's right. Leave us a voice message or go to Twitter at twitter.com/offtheropesjj.
Josh, because Josh has nothing better to do with his time.
It's true. I will answer your fucking tweets, motherfuckers. Do it. I will answer those tweets all day. Anyways, so that's not the only video that type of news story that came out. Our last news story is that Vice is hoping to do a season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. So season 2 just wrapped up, which we will be talking about the season finale of that. So they said discussions are currently taking place. It is just with all the virus stuff, there's a lot of questions about how productions will kind of move forward throughout all of this. They said they'd really like to travel to Japan in season 3, which I think could be really interesting.
Absolutely.
Sure, there's a lot of interesting stories to be told in the Japanese wrestling federations out there. So I think it'd be really cool. John, what would you like to see in a 3rd season?
I mean, there's so many stories out there that I would love to see covered. I wouldn't mind seeing a final day of Davey Boy Smith.
Ooh, okay.
Davey Boy was, he was a big inspiration of mine when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I loved Davey Boy Smith. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a Brian Pillman episode.
Oh, dude, Brian Pillman would be tight. Yeah.
Everybody knows Pillman was off his rocker, as they would say, back yesteryear.
Yeah.
There's so many things that, they could do a Montreal Screwjob episode.
Yeah.
There are so many things. I don't really know much about what happened in Japan or has happened in Japan. You could do some of the cool stuff about, some of the Mexico stories as well.
Yeah, they could do Mexico, yeah.
Not everything always has to be bad. Some of those...
It is called Dark Side of the Ring. So.
True. Well, I mean, then we could do an episode on how Rey Mysterio murdered a man.
Fair enough. And it's like, I think they could also, they could do some stuff where it's not like wrestler specific, not like one person specific kind of stuff. Like maybe do one on like steroid abuse in the 80s. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I think that could be interesting.
I'm not 100% familiar with season 1.
Yeah,
but if there's not already an episode, I would love to see an episode done on Miss Elizabeth then.
I'm not sure. For some reason, I think there might have been, but I'm not positive. I'd have to go back and look. Because I didn't get a chance to watch any season 1 because I don't have Vice, and you have to pay for Vice in order to watch it.
Yeah. Although YouTube does post those videos.
Like, I know Vice put the Benoit one up for free. But all the rest of them, you had to, like, have the account. But you get, like, 2 hours worth of free viewing or whatever. So I watched, because we're going to talk about the Owen Hart one. That's how I watched it. I used 2 of my, because they come in, it's like 4 30-minute credits, I guess, something like that.
Even though the episode's 44 minutes.
Yeah. And if you pause it, it still counts against it. It still counts it down.
Oh, that's
30 minutes. Yeah. Because I paused it at like 20 minutes to do something, and I came back and it was like, use a credit to continue watching. I'm like, fuck you. But so I've only watched the Benoit one and the Owen Hart one. So
I watched most of season 2.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get it right. So you said it's on YouTube?
It is on YouTube.
Someone put it up there, and it didn't get taken down.
Oh no, they get posted up there quite frequently.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let us know what you guys think. What would you like to see out of a season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring? Have you watched seasons 1 and 2? What have been your favorite episodes? Hop on Twitter at OffTheRopesJJ, or leave us a voice message on anchor.fm/OffTheRopesJJ. You can leave us, like I said, a voice message, and we will play that right here.
We'd love to hear from you people, seriously.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Let us know you're listening.
Yes.
Crank it up to 11.
Now, that is all for the news. We are going to get into some reviews now.
Yeah.
So we are going to start off by talking a little bit about AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Now, we didn't get to actually watch, like we talked about earlier, to actually watch the full pay-per-view. So we're not going to dive deep like we would normally on a review, on a pay-per-view review episode.
Forgive us.
I'm going to go through the matches, and we're going to talk about a little bit about it, because we did get to watch the highlights, so we saw some of what happened. And we'll talk a little bit about it and just give our thoughts about what we saw and everything like that. So, the highlight packages did not, at least the one that I watched, did not include the pre-show match.
I did watch the pre-show,
or as what they called the buy-in.
That's what they called
their. That's what I thought was kind of a cool name. It was Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, versus Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Queen. Is that how you pronounce that?
I believe
Mark
so.
Queen. Tag team match to determine the number 1 contender for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Best Friends won this match. Chuck Taylor and Trent? That's how you guys say it. It's got a question mark. So you said you did watch this. So
I did watch it. At least a little bit of it.
For a pre-show match,
I thought it was a really good back and forth match.
15 minutes for a pre-show match. I think that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. It was really sweet. Private Party pulled out a G9 in honor of Shad Gaspard. I thought that was actually really cool.
That's real cool.
Of course, you get your obligatory Orange Cassidy appearance, because what kind of
he showed up during the pre-show.
Well, of course, he's going to show up during the pre-show.
That's funny.
It's the Best Friends.
Well, I mean, he shows up. He's in the next match, in the first official match. So
yeah,
that's
which we need to talk about the opening, like his entrance alone, because okay, so.
We're gonna move on. I assume we're gonna move on to the actual first match.
Well, I mean, you didn't watch the pre-show match.
Do you have anything else you wanted to say about it, real quick? Okay, so
it was a match. Best Friends are.
Match number 2 was a casino ladder match for the future AEW World Championship. For a future, so it was a Money in the Bank match.
Pretty much.
The contestants had to climb a ladder, pull down a giant poker chip, and you could cash that poker chip in for a title. So it's essentially their version of Money in the Bank, which I think was really cool idea. I really dug it. Had Brian Cage, Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Joey Janela, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, Frankie Kazarian, and Luchasaurus, with a couple other people who randomly weren't in the match, but were out there who came out with other people. Like
it's fair to mention
Jimmy Havoc, Penelope Ford, they were all out there.
It is worth noting, though, that before this, we review that, Brian Cage was not advertised to be the last opponent. This was his debut. Like, Brian Cage was like a mystery person, and it's kind of cool because he was the last person to come out for the match.
Yeah.
The match started out with Scorpio Sky and Kazarian.
He's a big dude too, man.
He is huge.
He is. He's a beast. Anyways,
he played Rhino.
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. So one of the highlights for me in this match, watching this match, was Orange Cassidy comes out for his entrance and proceeds to stop at the commentary table and audibly asks, "How do I win this match?" And they're like, "What do you mean? It's a ladder match. You've got to climb up the ladder and pull down the chip." And then he proceeded to get in the ring and stand on a closed ladder and reach.
I had to pause the video because I just started laughing so hard. It was so funny. Just the stuff.
I love
watching him try to real lazily lift, open the ladder and get it set up. He's like, "Huh? I don't want to do it."
Nope. I mean, he made that match for me. That match. I don't want to. I don't want to make this podcast so long tonight because we're focusing on every little thing. So quick cover of how I. I mean, sure, yeah. It's only been over an hour.
That's okay.
The way I saw this match, I watched this match. I was really impressed with how every person looked strong, and it played to their moments where except for poor Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I'm pretty sure, almost killed himself.
Oh my god!
When he did the skateboard drop in,
he did some awesome shit in this match, man.
And I'm pretty sure he damn near broke his leg on that drop in, though.
Probably.
And then he comes back towards the end, and Brian Cage proceeds to lift him up on a ladder, and just is like, "Yeah, fuck you." Just,
yeah.
I will say though, they planted the seeds for a really beautiful Darby Allin Brian Cage feud.
Yeah, I agree.
What were your thoughts on this match overall?
I thought it was awesome. It was a great opener. I'll say this, man. They know what they're doing. I've always said, whenever we've watched pay-per-views, it's all about that opening match. It sets the pace for the whole show, and this almost half an hour freaking ladder match set the pace.
Oh yeah,
it was intense, wild, man. Shit happening all over the place. So many fucking people in this match. It got crazy.
Oh god,
I fucking loved it, man. And I didn't even get to see the whole thing. It was cut down pieces, in the highlights that I was watching. But it was fantastic. Everything that I want to see if I can find the whole match and just watch that match because that's the quality shit right there. Yeah, quality. If anybody out there isn't watching AEW, man. Got to get on that because they're putting out product that
AEW is where it's at right now, man.
It just flounces everything that WWE is doing, in my opinion.
I mean, Crushman was raised a few years ago. Where's Trent?
Trent? He's here, man. AEW.
He's here.
AEW. Yeah. So you watch that match, you're like, how the fuck are they gonna get any better? I mean, I don't even know, but I feel like that they either did or got at least close in some of these other matches, as we will continue talking. So the second match up was MJF versus Jungle Boy in a singles match. Honestly, I don't really know these two that well. I know I've heard of Jungle Boy. I haven't seen a whole lot from him, but from what I saw, it was decent. It was 17 minutes according to this, but what'd you think?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I thought this was a great match from MJF. I don't like MJF's character, but this is exactly who EC3 was supposed to be in WWE the first time.
Yeah.
This gimmick is Flawless.
I didn't like
MJF plays
I didn't like
Vince
him as EC3.
Well, yeah, but this isn't EC3. This is Morgan J. Freeman.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that's what his name is.
I mean, I like Morgan Freeman, but
the thing is MJF isn't the same guy as EC3. I'm saying this is the gimmick EC3 was supposed to have.
yeah, I'm saying though, I didn't like EC3, so I mean,
nobody likes EC3. He's a dick. But this gimmick works on MJF. And Jungle Boy, let me tell you something. When I first started discovering who this kid was, I was like, he's young. And I mean, like, I look at him and I go, I recognize him, but eh. And then I found out his daddy was Luke Perry, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why he looks familiar. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry. This is the guy I told you was Luke Perry's kid.
Okay, that's why I was like, that's why I said, I was like, I've heard of him.
Or the Jurassic Express. It's him, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt.
That makes sense why I remember the name.
Yeah. I think Jungle Boy has a lot of potential to be, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, because I'm not, Josh knows this, I'm critical on a lot of wrestlers these days. Mark my words, within 2 years, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, will be AEW World Champion.
Yeah, right. I mean, he didn't get a win here tonight, or on that night, but hey, we may see that coming up soon. You never know. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye out there. So the next match saw Cody and Lance Archer in a tournament final for the inaugural AEW TNT Championship.
TNT!
Right. TNT.
And not the AC/DC song.
Cody took this match. He was out there with Arn Anderson, whereas Lance Archer was out there with Jake the Snake Roberts. And we also got a little fun time with one Mike Tyson.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Mike Tyson out there even stopping Jake the Snake from bringing out Damien, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah.
What Damien do you think we're on by this point? Like Damien 7?
Probably.
Damien
Who the
8?
fuck knows, man?
Damien Sandow?
Who knows if there was even a snake in that bag? You know what I mean?
Oh, there was.
Okay.
He took it out.
Oh, the highlights that I watched didn't show that.
Oh yeah, no, he totally took the snake out of the bag.
Oh, that's a bummer. I wish that was in the highlights that I watched.
So my question about this match to you, okay? So you obviously saw this like a highlight package. Is Lance Archer as appealing to you as he is to the general audience?
I mean, I've seen him on AEW, and I mean, he's okay. He's cool. I don't have
I don't specifically see the appeal to him.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh fucking hey man, Lance Archer is on. I'm in.
Like, I think the dude's got some talent, and I'm trying to not be a dick and shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not like I dislike him or anything. I just he's just a guy. Whatever. He's a good worker. It seems.
However,
he may grow on me. I don't know.
To the fans shitting on the TNT Championship for not being a complete title yet, fucking get over it. We're in a pandemic right now where people aren't being able to do shit as much. Be glad the fucking title was there and it wasn't a piece of cardboard with TNT written on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a piece of paper that says IOU one TNT title.
Right? I mean, at least you had something that representing the title.
Yeah.
Like, god damn, shut up.
Yeah. Just chill out. So after, we just saw, so a 15-minute match, a half an hour match, a 17-minute match, and a 22-minute match. They decide to slow things down a little and give us like a couple of short matches here. We got a 5-minute, 3-minute. So yeah, they kind of slowed the pace down just a little here with Chris Statlander and Penelope Ford with Chris Sabian in her corner in a singles match. Chris Statlander won this match. What did you think of this one?
I mean, it was a good women's match. Chris Statlander looked phenomenal. I do like Penelope Ford, though. I think Penelope Ford is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Not so much a fan of Kip Sabian.
Yeah, he's okay. He's whatever.
He reminds me of just every generic wrestler ever.
Yeah.
But Chris Statlander, man, she's phenomenal. She's a little crazy. I like her. I like her a lot. I think
like,
she's got potential to be one of the top women of the company.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more from her and see what else she can do.
I would like to
I
see
said it was a short match, so like even the highlights didn't show much, to be honest. At least my highlight bag didn't really show a whole lot because how short it was. But from what I saw, I liked, and yeah, want to see more. And then we got the shortest match of the night. Dustin Rhodes with Brandy defeated Shawn Spears in a singles match. Yeah, I liked Dustin's outfit, and I thought he did a good job here. But I've always liked him, so.
Well, I think it's funny though because this wasn't actually an official match until it wasn't booked to be a match anyway. He just kind of beat him down.
Yeah.
We got some classic Dustin though back and forth in this. We got the quick power slam, and we got the drop down punch up, and
yeah.
I mean, Dustin right now looks phenomenal. I mean, he's in shape. He's still performing to the top of his like potential. I got photobombed by him once.
I love that fucking picture. It's great. I look at it every so often, and it is fantastic. Actually, you know what? Right here.
Man, I remember that night fondly. We also met the Hurricane that night.
That's true. You did.
But yeah, I mean, I think Dustin's in great shape, and I think that match really showed to his strength. So hopefully he sticks around for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, hopefully. So next up, the penultimate match. Jon Moxley defeated Brody Lee in a singles match for the AEW World Championship via technical submission.
Technical.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts on this match?
I thought the match was everything the match needed to be. It was good. I mean, good is an understatement. That match was great. I don't know your thoughts on it per se. I thought this match was everything it needed to be. It had its near falls. It had excitement. I was literally at one point, I was watching highlights at work, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah! I was like, oh.
Oh, damn.
I like the new name for the Dirty Deeds. I love what they are now calling the Paradigm Shift.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, yeah.
And I think, Brody is one of those people, man, who doesn't matter who he's working. He's going to make them look like $1 million because that's just who Brody is.
It's true.
But John did it for him, too. John made him look really good. And, I mean, it was just, it was a great match. I'm really sad Brody didn't win.
Yeah.
But I don't think
I was really hoping. I was like, oh, yeah, I was really, I love Jon Moxley, but I was rooting for Brody Lee here, personally.
I don't think this is going to be the last time we see those two cross paths.
Oh, yeah, I doubt it, man. We're going to definitely see more. Brody's not done. He wants that title.
Of course.
Yeah. And the final match, which I did not, because I didn't actually look at the match card before I watched the highlights, so I didn't know this match was coming along. The Stadium Stampede match. All of a sudden, everybody's in a fucking football field. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. So we had Matt Hardy and the Elite. So it's Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson versus the Inner Circle, which was Chris Jericho, Jack Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz.
Isn't it Jake Hager?
Oh, what did I say? Jack? Yes, it's Jake. I said Jake. Or I said Jack. Yes. It is Jake Hager. I am sorry, Jack Swagger.
So your thoughts on this match?
So it's essentially like a Survivor Series match, but in a football stadium, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's right, but not elimination style. It was just
pretty much.
Yeah. So this was wild, man. Like I said, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, is this just like a battle royal? I didn't know what was happening. I was like, wait, like halfway through, I'm like, oh, wait. I think they're on teams. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, then half of them had football gear on. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this match? But it was a fucking crazy fun match to watch. They did some wild shit. They went inside the fucking stadium and did shit. Fucking Matt Hardy and I don't even know who was with him. Fucking driving around on a fucking golf cart. It was good stuff, man. I really enjoyed it. Well, what were your thoughts? Oh, fucking, I don't know who it was that threw it, but fucking someone chucking footballs in the Jericho balls. Oh my God, Jericho getting like super kicked into a fucking kicker's net. That was good stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to point out the two negative things I have about this match before I talk about the things I liked about this.
Real quick, I think it was Kenny Omega who was with Matt Hardy.
I believe so.
I think that's who it was. Anyway, sorry.
So the first thing I hated about this match, and I understand why, but I didn't like it anyway because it raised a lot of questions, and I had to pull myself out of that moment of suspension of disbelief. Matt Hardy's segment where he's being drowned in the pool.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
They pull the Lake of Reincarnation crap, and I get it.
Oh, that's not what I was laughing at. The matter of fact. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I get it because it's the version 1.
Oh man!
But the fact that they were like making it so gimmicky that he kept changing gimmicks every time they would drown him, kind of pulled me out of that.
They didn't show that in the highlight pack.
Yeah, he went through like 4 gimmicks while they were drowning him.
They showed like they put him under. Then they went under the water and they showed him doing the like as he was under it. They showed the matter of fact. Then they showed them walking away and him coming up. They didn't show all that for me.
Oh yeah, there's like he pulls out like 2 to 3 gimmicks during that whole segment.
Oh man,
like,
okay, now I gotta go back and see if I can watch this.
Yeah,
too.
So that took me out of it because like he literally like the first time they do it and he comes up, I don't remember the order, but there was like classic Matt Hardy.
So like he changed his like look and stuff.
Yeah, like he changed complete fucking outfits.
Oh wow!
And then at one point, yeah, he had on like the V1, and
that's when they did the matter of fact.
Matt
Hardy can hold his breath for 345 seconds.
And I mean, and then I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. And then
see that probably would have taken me out of it too, yeah, because like you're having this match and it's real gimmicky. It's like that's something WWE would do.
Exactly. And this is the second time now they've done this with Matt specifically. And I'm just like, it's got to calm down a little bit because you can't do that with a live crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to stop doing that unless you're going to make all of the Elite versus all of the Inner Circle specialty fucking film matches, and then that's just going to irritate your crowd.
Yeah.
So then, I can't really remember what the other thing was that I didn't like, but there was something that irritated me. So obviously it wasn't too important. One of the things I give mad props to about this match, though, is the Adam Page, Jack Hagar moment at the bar. Jake Hagar walks into the bar, and Adam Page is sitting there with his scotch. And he literally just looks over and he's like, "Are you here to drink or are you here to fight?" And Jake doesn't say a word. He just picks up a bottle, pours himself a drink. They toast each other, and then they slam them back. And then they
just go at it, yeah.
And in all honesty, fucking bravo, gentlemen, because that right there was the moment of the match for me.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly pissed that me and you never thought of that in the backyard.
That's true.
And honestly, in a year when we have our last match, I might fucking pull that with you. I might literally just pull a beer out and be like, hey, I love you like a brother. Let's have this moment. Let's do this. Throwback part of beer, and then just beat your fucking ass.
I'd be okay with that.
I mean, the rest of the match I thought was pretty good. I was really happy to see things like there was the backflip off the top of the goalpost, and there was the like you said, there was the super kick into the kicker's net from the Young Bucks. Yeah. There was, I'm pretty sure it was Kenny Omega chucking footballs into Jericho's ball.
Is that who it was? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
That was good stuff. I think it was it one of the Young Bucks who came running down from the stands and hopped up on the railing and then just fucking was it Jericho through the table?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, did they just become best friends? Yep.
Yep.
I mean, that match, I mean, the couple things I hated didn't take away from the fact it was still a great match. And then, like, you got, like, a small appearance by, like, it's not Vanguard 1 anymore. It's, Oh, fuck, I didn't remember what they wrote. I should have wrote it down because I knew I was gonna have this problem. Vanguard 1 got destroyed though, and now there's a new service droid for Hardy, and he got debuted at the event.
Oh, okay.
Vanguard 1 was his droid, or not his droid. Oh my god, what do they call those things? Drones. It's his drone.
Oh yeah. I've seen him throughout like the last month or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
But I mean, it was a good event overall. I don't take away from anything from it.
Yeah.
AEW clinics.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. And like I said, what I saw of it. Would I want to pay $50 for it? Probably not. Would it have been worth it? Maybe. It might have been.
I mean,
I'm just broke.
I look at the event and I'm like, you don't want to pay $50? See a couple of haters. Couple of haters.
Now, if it was like $30, I'll be honest, I'd probably get these pay-per-views.
What about 40?
Say, John, kick in and I'll share the. I don't even know how you access them.
35.50.
I'd go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sold.
You pay the other 15 and I'll get it.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
All right. But yeah, so that was AEW's Double or Nothing.
Definitely 2020, bro. Get your facts straight.
Definitely was not nothing. Yeah.
I don't think it was double though either.
I haven't seen a previous one, so I can't compare. So yeah. So we are going to move on to the rest of our reviews. The next 2 chapters of The Undertaker, The Last Ride, dropped in between the last podcast and this one.
Yeah.
So we have chapter 2, Redemption, and chapter 3, End of an Era. Real quick thoughts on chapter 2. We'll take it in order.
Shit, I don't remember. I watched them back to back.
Okay, so I'll followed to that Mania match with Roman Reigns. Part 2 covered the following year after WrestleMania 31. That whole year leading up to his match at WrestleMania 34 with John Cena. It showed his hip surgery. Which fucking dude, I was cringing watching that fucking thing. They're like fucking hammering and drilling into his hip and shit. I was like, oh,
dude who used to watch Nip Tuck.
Dude, every time they on Nip Tuck, every time they did a fucking nose job, they're like chiseling it. That was the worst part. I was like, oh fuck me. I don't know why. I watch horror movies all the fucking time, but that I don't know why those things those get me. But yeah, like I thought this was really great. Taker and Michelle's banter, their like marital squabbling, was really funny to see. It was really interesting. It really kind of humanized him in a way, but not in like a bad way. Like, I don't know. I really, as somebody who was married for almost a decade, it's like I remember those types of things happening like with me, those like stupid little squabbles, but you're just kind of fucking around or whatever. It was really fun to watch. And seeing Primo, I thought was really cool. It's like when we watched the Edge documentary and we saw fucking now I don't remember his name. What was his name? Yeah. When we saw him in there, it reminded me of that. I was like, okay, so they're sending another guy in. That was cool. But just watching him in there work with Taker, it reminded me just how misused he was as a superstar. And I mean, they fucking got rid of him anyways. It's like, he's a good worker, man, but they never fucking used him right. But yeah, so that was part 2. What were your thoughts on this one? This was him wanting to redeem himself after that shit of a fucking match with Roman Reigns that happened,
Personally, I mean, like I said, they still kind of blur together because I mean, like I said, I watched them back to back. But I mean, you watch it and he's literally like, oh man, this match. And he's like,
yeah, the episode starts off with him and Michelle rewatching that WrestleMania 8 months after it happened. Yeah. And he's just like, the first time that he rewatched it and just like how he's just down on himself about it. He couldn't believe how he says like he shouldn't have even been in that match. He was not he wasn't ready, and it's what sparked him, you know. Yep. And after having that surgery, he felt fucking great now, you know what I mean? He wasn't in pain all the time. It was able to really hit hard and start training and get to that match with John Cena, which, it was a fucking 3-minute match, but still blew the fucking roof off with him and Cena.
One of the things that really stood out for me is he even says in the documentary he felt bad for Roman.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he holds himself accountable because he shouldn't have been out there. He's like,
he even apologized to him.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was getting to. I can't remember if it was, I think it was in the third part, though, not the second part, which is why I was trying to remember. But I'm pretty sure that part almost made me cry when he walks up to Roman during, like, the backstage, and he's just like, look, I'm really sorry. And Roman's like, don't be. He's like, we did what we could do. It looked great. Yeah. And Taker's like, still, like, ugh.
Yeah. And Taker felt he had more to give than that 3 minutes that he had with Cena. And that's why it's like he wants to keep going. And that's why when we get into chapter 3, which was End of an Era, this follows his path to find closure on his whole career. He's looking to find some closure, He had that 3-minute match. That wasn't it, And so they just they go through 2018. And I didn't realize this. Like I hadn't thought about it. It never really occurred to me to think about it like this. But this motherfucker fucking wrestled like 5 matches in 2018.
Yeah.
From going, once a year.
Yep. To almost going back to like a part-time schedule.
Yeah. Like he did. So he did that Mania match against Cena. Yep. Then he went off and did Greatest Royal Rumble against Rusev. He had that Madison Square Garden match, which I think was like a tag match. I think it was a tag match.
It's him, Braun, and Roman.
Then he did Super Showdown against Triple H. Yep. And then he did Crown Jewel.
Yep, which was the Brothers of Destruction versus DX.
Yeah, and so they kind of talk about all those matches, but then in between, so like after the MSG match, they say, okay, Super Showdown, he's going to face Triple H for the last time. Then they go into this kind of big part where they go back and talk about his 2 matches with Shawn Michaels and his 2 matches with Triple H and how all of that history came about, really, leading into this final match, for the last time ever, Undertaker versus Triple H at Super Showdown, and how that all, and then how BOD and DX, how all that really tied together. I thought it was a real nice way to do it, kind of bouncing in between the past and the present, and tying for this portion, like, because when you look at the first 2 chapters of this, it's real specific about his career, whereas this, and like not just his career, but like him as a person. Whereas I felt like this one was more about his career specifically and less about him as a person.
I can agree with that, because that's kind of how I saw the third part myself, was like they really focused on a lot of behind the scenes with this one and like why things were happening.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool that they touched on how in the 90s, when Taker was like at his prime, he hated Michaels.
Yeah.
And now has a lot more respect for him. And like, he's like, really overall, he's one of the guys in the business that, they are who they are.
Yeah.
But it, like you said, I thought this chapter is to what you said for the last one. I thought this one did a really good job at showing the more human side of Taker.
Yeah.
You've got the fact that he's just going through all this shit, and he's talking about how Triple H is like one of the few guys who can walk back there and he can be real with them. Yeah. Like, hey, you need to get the hell in your headspace right now, and you need to go out there and let's do this.
Yeah. And he talked about how like Shawn Michaels, they did that last match and he was able to walk away clean, and not have those doubts. And Triple H and Undertaker hasn't had that, and that's what he's looking for. He's looking for that kind of closure. He wants to end it the right way.
I think that's what this documentary is building to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think it's going to come right around the same time as his last match. He's going to have something up his sleeve, per se.
You don't think he's going out to Mania next year?
I would like to think he's going to go out at Mania, but
because this documentary is going to end. It's not going to end at a pay-per-view.
no, I know it's not. But I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be.
I mean, who's to say Taker's going to be back before Mania? The next time we can see him could be Mania.
It could be theoretically like. I mean, I guess if this is leading to his final match, it could his final match could theoretically then be at like SummerSlam. You know what I mean?
Survivor Series. Go out where you came in.
Yeah, I was saying SummerSlam because it's first.
Well, yeah.
And then it wouldn't be as big of a gap between that and this, but
I mean, if you're going to build the right rivalry to take the Undertaker out, you need
I just don't.
Right.
I just feel like he would not want his career to end at anywhere other than WrestleMania.
But I mean,
his career was built around WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it's not as big anymore now that the streak is broken twice.
But still, it was built around WrestleMania. It's the biggest show. That's the place he's always been.
Yeah.
I don't think he would want to do it anywhere else. Whether or not we would want it somewhere else is a different story and doesn't really matter. Well, I don't think he would.
I get that. I'm just saying. I mean, but he's also said, though, when he feels the time is right.
I know.
I mean, that could be tomorrow.
It could be. I still believe that he would say, then I'm going to prepare for Mania, and that's when it'll be. You know what I mean?
Only time will tell.
Yeah. I just have that feeling, the way he kind of talks about his career and stuff, I just feel like that's what he would do. But we won't get to see another episode until the night of Backlash, June 14th.
Yeah.
I'm assuming right after Backlash, like they did with the first episode with Money in the Bank. We will get to see the next one, which I'm surprised that they're skipping a week, to be totally honest, because they could have, because like you got NXT in your house next week. They could have had it following NXT in your house, and then have the finale follow Backlash.
Yeah, they could have.
But the finale is gonna just be on just like a random Sunday.
That is kind of weird, yeah.
Unless they wait a month, which would suck.
It would.
Like, here's 3 in a row. Then you got to wait 2 weeks. Then you got to wait a month. That would suck. Yeah, so, but yeah, part 4 coming June 14th.
June 14th. All
right. Before we get into, I want to end on the Owen Hart piece. So I'm going to talk real quick about Fight Like a Girl. I finished up watching the season of it. I know you haven't watched it, so that's why I just wanted to talk about it real quick. This is a show on Quibi. It's this new streaming service that does quick bites. That's where the name comes from. Quibi, quick bites.
Oh, okay.
So it's like videos that are 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah, and so they did this series where they bring a woman that has had they deal with like self-esteem issues, weight issues, self-worth. They have an episode about anorexia, an episode about coming out. That's the kind of stuff that they deal with, and they pair them up with a female superstar, a female wrestler, however you want to call it. And it's a 10-week transformation process. The problem is, okay, I love this premise. I think it's a fantastic premise. The problem is, they're like 5 to 10 minutes long. So you really don't get anything. You like, they show them at the beginning, then they show like a quick, you get like a short, like a little bit of montage of them working out in the training facility. And that's really it. Like, you don't really get any of their mental or emotional transformation, which a lot of it is what it should be, because it's, like I said, it's all like emotional and mental stuff, like self-worth and self-esteem and all that kind of shit. But you don't get to see that. It happened. Oh yeah, they're better.
You know what's really funny? You said that exact same thing first time.
I know, but I feel like I rushed myself last time. Didn't really get a chance to talk as much about it. And I really wish that they would take, because I assume, I don't know, but I part of me assumes that they had to have filmed some stuff that wasn't in these short things, and turn this into a show for the network.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, or like if Quibi doesn't bring it back, start season 2 and put it on the network, like a 30 to 45 minute episode where you can really dive into these people and because like there were out of the 10 episodes, only 2 of them that have any emotional investment in these people at all.
Alexa Bliss being one of them.
Yeah, the Alexa Bliss episode, which it was about anorexia, the woman, and then oh shit, what is her name? It's gonna bother me. Damn it. It was the episode about coming out.
Sonya Deville.
That's it. That's who it was. I was like, shit. I was like, I'm gonna totally blank on her goddamn name. But
I
yeah,
got you.
Those 2 episodes were like emotionally powerful, and they really, I think, dove a bit deeper into the individual person than in any of the other episodes. And maybe it's because those specific topics are deeper than just, self-worth and the kind of more general type topics like that. But that's the kind of stuff that I would want to see more of and get deep like that. So, like I said, outside of those 2, I think it's a great premise, but I don't think it hit the mark. I really don't.
Well, by any chance, since you've watched this show, have you done any of your research on Alexa Bliss's disorder when she had an anorexia problem?
I mean, she talked a little bit about it, but I didn't like dive.
She almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a serious situation. She's talked about it a couple times on documentaries and stuff behind the scenes, and she got really, really, really like skinny and had a really bad anorexia problem.
And I mean, she's small enough as it is, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because she's short, you know what I mean? And so like, yeah, I mean, what was she? Probably like 70 pounds or something?
Something. I think, I don't remember exact weight. I remember at one point, I remember hearing 96 pounds.
96.
Dude, she was toothpick, though. She was a skeleton of herself.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me to a small thing that I want to talk about that we weren't covering this week.
Okay.
Is that Alexa Bliss blew up on a fan this week.
Really?
Not really. I can't call him a fan. So...
Was he a troll?
Yeah. And the comment he made was that, Alexa Bliss is one of those people who just lays there in bed and takes it. And she's... Pretty much he just trolled her. And she fucking owned him. I recommend if you have read up on it.
We talked about at the top of the show, we talked about cyberbullying and how this shit's got to stop. And right there, man, I'm glad she stood up for herself and fucking put this fucker in his place.
I will say this straight out. Any superstar who gets trolled on, I don't feel bad when they snap back at people. Because there's playful picking and telling a superstar, oh, you suck. Oh, you can't sell tickets. Oh, your merchandise looks like a child drew it.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff like that. And then there's being like, oh, Alexa Bliss is a piece of shit in bed. First off, fuck you, because you could never get a woman half as beautiful as Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Let alone probably your fucking hand. I mean, fuck you, dude. Like, who the fuck are you to even say something like that?
Yeah.
Like, I hate people who make other people feel inadequate about themselves. I am a big guy, and if somebody ever fucking commented to me like that, I'd be going back to jail because I'd be fucking beating the shit out of somebody.
Yep. Yeah. So that was Fight Like a Girl. And, I mean, if you're interested, check it out, but don't think you're going to get some sort of deep, insightful thing outside of those 2 episodes that I talked about. Yeah. I mean, you may enjoy it, but just know what you're getting into.
Yep.
Okay, so to finish off our episode, we are going to talk about the season finale of Dark Side of the Ring, Season 2. I believe it was called The Final Days of Owen Hart.
It was.
This episode was heartbreaking.
Pun intended?
No, not pun intended.
I mean, dude falls 100 feet and dies, and that's the line you're going to go with? Heartbreaking?
What else do you want me to say, man? It wasn't intended, damn it.
I think you owe Martha Hart an apology right now.
I'm sorry. But okay. I'll choose a better term. It was devastating. Is that better?
I like that.
Sit up, sir.
My chest hurts right now.
I know, you're so broken in the heart.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Sorry, everybody. Talk about this devastating episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
It really hit.
I legit
feels.
cried during this episode. Just putting that out there.
I got teary-eyed a couple times. I'm not going to deny it. I didn't actually cry in this one. I cried during Benoit's episode, though.
Yeah.
I never realized how great Owen Hart was as a father. And I'm not going to deny it. In 1999, I wasn't a big WWF guy, but I've seen the key Owen Hart moments. I've seen this Survivor Series match that it was the Hart family taking on, I believe it was Michaels and a bunch of other people. And I remember the moment where, Owen kicked Bret's leg out and walked off on him. And then he's up on the Titantron and he's blaming Bret for being selfish and not tagging him. And I remember Owen versus Bret at WrestleMania 10, and that's a fucking classic match. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10. It's a classic. But May 23rd, 1999. Yep. I wasn't watching the pay-per-view, so I can't even try to act like I've been there and I was watching and, but I can't imagine being Owen's family going through what they went through. I mean,
yeah,
it's a devastating moment and it was a sad moment for professional wrestling. And there was something that got said during the recording. And I sat here today because I rewatched it today to be fresh about this episode. And there was something I caught this time that I didn't catch the first time. And it's Owen Hart passed in 1999. And then you started getting guys like Edge and the Hardys and Kurt Angle and all of them started coming in like 2000, like late 99, early 2000.
Yeah.
Had Owen Hart survived like another year or two, he could have had some of the greatest matches of his entire career.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to think that there are guys who could have worked with it. Because Owen he was ahead of his time, man.
I think he would have been a top guy. I really do.
He could have been a top guy.
I mean,
and
you
the
look
fact
at
that he never
you look
was.
at guys you look at guys like Eddie Guerrero and Edge, like they were top guys. And I think he would have gave them a run for their money, man. I think he would have worked. He would have had programs that were fucking amazing with guys like that.
He was pedigree, man. I mean, he came from the royal family of the Harts. I mean, he was trained in the dungeon. He had presence. And I mean...
And even his family says, he was a prodigy.
Yeah.
He could do it all, man. He could high fly. He could technical wrestle. He could do it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Jericho said it best, too. Like, he's like, the first time I saw him, he was doing shit in the ring that, like, other guys weren't doing. He was, like, running and jumping onto a guy's back and doing a backflip off of him.
That was awesome.
Like,
because they showed that scene.
Yeah. And even JR said it. He's like, the first time I saw him in the ring, I was like, why isn't he just main eventing already? Like, why is he down here doing this shit? Why isn't he in bigger territory?
God, I feel so, yes, I feel bad for the family, but it's like another person who gets overlooked in the feeling bad department is JR. Like, what he had to do that night, knowing that Owen wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, that was a rough moment. Overall, that was
essentially fill in, fucking just talk, and have no real updates to give. Like, I don't know if I could have done that, man.
I don't know. And I mean, he straight out says during that episode too, like, he's like, there's the point when they're like, hey, you're not giving real updates. And he's like, well, we don't have an update. And they're like, well, Owen died. And they come back from that break, and he's like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened. And like, I can't imagine being the guy. And think about it like this, because I didn't think about, we've talked about Over the Edge a few times in our personal relationship off camera.
Yeah.
And how devastating of a moment in professional wrestling in general that was. And whether or not Vince McMahon made the right decision in going on with that pay-per-view.
Which I don't think he did, but
I don't think he did either. But then something his wife said on camera, I never took the aspect of thinking about. And that should have been stopped because that was an active crime scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And like the fact
these wrestlers are fucking wrestling where he died, where his blood is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
And I mean, she says, like he broke some of the boards and stuff. I've been in a professional wrestling ring. The fact that he well, I mean, it doesn't shock me because of the fall, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
And then there's the story about how I think it was the Godfather was like when he was falling, he was telling people get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like,
look out. His last words were "look out."
Look out.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine being there. I've got goosebumps just thinking about it, but like, I can't imagine being the person who had to be there to be the person to be like, hey, now we need to call his wife and tell his wife that he's not coming home.
Yeah.
And I agree. I don't think the entrance was needed for that night. I mean, it was supposed to be for the IC title, but it wasn't needed.
Yeah. And it was all to save a couple extra seconds of time. That they use a different carabiner, a easy release fucking thing instead of that locking one, just so that once he got down, he didn't have to fuck with it.
Which it doesn't make sense anyway, because he was the first person down to the ring. Godfather was still backstage.
Yeah, it shouldn't have mattered.
Would have had
he
to
gets
have shot
down,
Godfather coming out anyway.
What they should have done, he gets down, the ref undoes it. There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that simple change of thing would have made the difference, you know? I don't know. But yeah, overall, what did you think of this episode? Like, how about this? Compared to the Benoit episode, because that's the only other one I've watched.
Not as sad.
Not as sad?
Not as sad.
Yeah, definitely not as sad. Though, I think it was made better.
Yes. Benoit is also focused on a much harder situation.
True.
I mean, I
think the pacing of this episode was better.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because it was just one episode. Maybe the fact that the Benoit one was 2, so it had to be stretched or whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on in it. And nothing against that Benoit one, because that Benoit episode, the 2-parter, was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
a great. But I think of the 2, this one was. And you said you've watched multiple from this season.
Oh, right? Yeah. I watched the Brawl for All. I watched the Road Warrior episode.
So, of all the ones that you've watched, which one have you liked the best? I'm just curious.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It would probably be a toss-up between the Benoit or the Road Warriors.
Road Warriors, okay, cool.
I was a huge LOD fan when I was growing up, man. I know a lot of people still call them the Road Warriors, but I was introduced to them as LOD. But man, they were those. Well, okay, so because I said I don't want to make this episode too long. I want to tell the story we were told by one Tatanka.
Okay, go for it.
Do you remember the story Tatanka told us when we met him?
Yes, I do.
So
I'm excited to get this out into the air.
For the rest of you who don't know, Josh and I, we used to, when we kind of got out of the wrestling business, we would still go to shows and stuff. And we would try to get 3-minute interviews, or not 3-minute, 3-question interviews with wrestlers. And we went to a show for it was a dedication show for a superstar's sister who had passed away from cancer. And Tatanka was there. And Tatanka told us this phenomenal story about when he was first getting to the WWF. And he walks into this gym, and he's like, you know, you got Hogan and Warrior over here on the arms, and they're working out together. He's like, and you got so-and-so over here and so-and-so over here. He's like, and in the back corner of the gym, he's like, you got Hawk and Animal on the leg machine. And he goes, and so he made his way around the gym, and he's highing this person and what's up to that person. He goes, and I walked back to the Road Warriors, and I'm like, hey, guys. And I can't remember which one he said was on the machine. He goes, but whoever it was had about 1,000 pounds on the machine. And he said, he's like, hey, man, do you need a spot for that? And whichever one of the guys was on the machine goes, spot this asshole, and drops the fucking weight. It just starts boom, 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 boom. He was like, I remember that day fondly because that was the day I walked up to Vince McMahon and said, "Hi, my name's Chris. I don't work LOD." And I just remember that being a really fucking great moment with him because Josh and I got a hell of an interview out of him, and we talked to him for almost an hour.
Yeah.
And we didn't record it because we weren't expecting it. It wasn't something that we asked for.
Yeah.
It was just
it legitimately would just wound up being just a conversation with Tatanka. We were just hanging out backstage and got to talk with him. That was fucking awesome.
Dude, he was amazing.
The same thing happened with Nick Dinsmore.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was just chilling out and talking. And yeah, that was good stuff. I miss those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps up this episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us and listening to us fucking ramble on about all kinds of random shit in the world of wrestling.
Josh's love for Ronda Rousey.
You know it. If you guys want to get in touch with us, you can hit me up on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. You can, of course, go reach out to us on our official Off the Ropes Twitter. That is at Off the Ropes JJ. I'm sure, John, if is there a specific place you'd like them to reach out to grab a little bit of you? You know what I'm saying?
I'm on Facebook, J John Made. Right. You can email me at john_made@hotmail.com. I mean, I'm old fashioned. I like a good email.
It's true, he does. Yeah, he got rid of his Twitter a long time ago. If you if you bug him enough, send him enough emails, and maybe he'll reopen that. Who knows?
I'm considering bringing a Twitter back for Simply Sane at this point.
There you go. Yeah, and be sure to check out, he's got another podcast out there. It's called Simply Sane.
Bro, you ain't got to talk about Simply Sane. Let's talk about it.
Anchor.fm/Simply Sane. But yes, for more Off the Ropes goodness, be sure to head over to our Anchor feed. It's anchor.fm/offtheropesjj. You can leave us a voice message there. It'd be fantastic. And if you want to contribute to the cause and get some extra content in the meantime, you can head over to patreon.com/offtheropesjj and sign up for one of our mini tiers there. And we will be doing cool special videos and things like that exclusively for patrons. So be sure to do that. Again, this has been Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are down for the count. Catch you next time.
Peace.